I don't know. I just got the message. Usama, John.
I can hear
Can
you.
you not see me? Okay, perfect. Can you see me too?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, your internet sucks right now, though.
it does.
Yeah. So how about that? Can you hear me okay? We got to get you a better internet for sure. Like the I think whatever you're using right now is just not good for you.
I need to restart my
Hey, Jason.
computer. Give me like 2 minutes. I'll be right back.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's if it comes back, that'll be good because right now it's pretty laggy. Hey, Dave, how's it going, man? John, you're good. Usama is super choppy. Oh, high tech hippie, man. You just offended him, and now he left. Hello from space, this is James Webb. Yeah, Usama's gone full robot. Yeah, he did. He went completely full robot on that one. It's funny how the internet connection just completely distorts everything. And I actually had my Zoom freeze earlier, and I froze like itching my eye. So it was like, and someone took a screenshot of it. So it was pretty funny. We'll probably post it on our Twitter soon. John, you shine like a diamond. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate it. My head is very, very shiny. I use turtle wax. I'm kidding, but it is really shiny. Look at that. See it glistening off of my light. So while we wait, actually, you know what? This would kind of be fun. I'm going to share with everyone how Performance Max identified that YouTube is going to be a great channel for a client. Would everyone like to see that? How we actually can identify how this worked and what Performance Max did and how we did it. I guess we'll offer you some value rather than just some kind of Q&A. This I think will be kind of fun. So I'll pull it up now. 2 weeks, no Kasim. Did you cut his hair? Yeah, right. I know. It's you'd think that we kind of like lost him, but no, he's we're busy with a bunch of other stuff, all good stuff for our company, and that's just something that he's taking care of right now. Let me do this. I'm going to hide. Yeah, perfect. Okay, let me go back in time. And this will be really cool for everyone to see because this is the kind of stuff that we like to monitor on a daily basis. And it's a really good way to do some kind of advanced tracking inside of Performance Max. There we are. I'm going to go ahead and share screen and hopefully, yeah. All right. So this is something that I'm not going to be able to share like the inner workings with, but it's something that you can kind of look at for your own campaign. So this is an account that had some activity from March 1st or August 31st. Now, a few things that took place during this time period. You'll notice that there's a Performance Max 2 and a Performance Max. And the first Performance Max in this account stopped right on June 20th. And the other Performance Max started on June 20th and is running all the way up to still today. We're still running it right now. That's this one right here. Now you'll see there's $9,656 in this campaign and another $9,000 in this campaign here. We notice that there's 108 conversions and 220 conversions. And we're looking at $6,000 conversion value and $12,000 in conversion value. So why did our cost per conversion go from 90 down to 41? And why did our conversions double from 107 up to 220? Clicks are 9,600, 9,500. Everything's exactly the same. What we noticed, though, is two things. Hey, Osama's back. I'm just doing a bit of a... Oh, God, you're still 56K dial-up for those that are over 30. You know what that is.
Damn it.
Oh, well. Let's roll it.
Isn't working.
But you'll
What
see
if I
that...
turn off my video?
Well, it's like now you're not even here. You're just the ghost of our lives. Anyway, same clicks. This one had a lot more impressions than this one, but this one's just crushing it. What you'll notice is two things. The views. This one only had 8,000 views, and this one had 93,000 views. And if you look at the cost per view, it was 11 cents and 6 cents. So when you actually multiply 6 cents times 93,000, we found that 3/4 of the spend in this campaign was coming from the YouTube channel because the views were high and the cost per view was low. And this was actually getting more and more conversions. Well, when we kind of said, okay, let's start a YouTube campaign and really hit it home. And now our YouTube custom campaign is delivering us $44 cost per conversion with 31 conversion by conversion time. This is actually more like 39 because there's more conversions by time. But now we actually hit YouTube custom and we just started pushing hard into YouTube and actually pulled out the YouTube channel from Performance Max. It was kind of doubled down on this one and started to produce better results. Average order value in this account is 80, 85, and now we're getting about a 2x return on just YouTube. And that means just on the YouTube that we can track. YouTube has about 5x the actual effect on an overall global MER, media efficiency ratio for an account, because we know that YouTube doesn't track every single click. You see an ad 4 times, you Google the brand name and it converts. YouTube sometimes does or does not take the credit for it. So analyzing what kind of channels inside of a Performance Max campaign are working, if it's coming from the listing group, it's coming from search categories, but the search category is higher than listing groups, that's indicative of search. If it's coming from no listing group and it's coming from no search categories, but we're still selling really well, we'll look at the views, cost per view, and the post-purchase survey that ran on the site confirmed that the people that 24 of the 31 responses of the last 31 responses that we were looking at, 24 of them said we found out about you on YouTube. So really good way to diagnose, push the needle, and then verify with actual client data from their own customers. So kind of a cool thing, little tidbit of knowledge to drop to you guys. And let's get started with the questions. Okie dokie, Josh, question for you. When running a PMax feed-only campaign, I know it is recommended to run another PMax campaign next to it for cold traffic. Do you recommend turning off the feeds off in cold traffic? Depends. If you're running a PMax feed-only upgraded from Smart Shopping, you want to have that at a lower budget than your main PMax campaign because you will overlap in the shopping network. But if it's an upgraded from Smart Shopping, it actually does more remarketing than cold traffic, so it shouldn't bite that often. So if you have a newly built PMax campaign that's a feed only and a newly built PMax campaign that is fully built, those two are just going to fight. If you have an upgraded from Smart Shopping PMax campaign and then you have a full build PMax campaign with a higher budget, this is going to bring into more cold traffic like YouTube, GSP, Discover displays, not necessarily shopping all the time, but the shopping PMax upgraded for Smart Shopping, the shopping element of that feed only will remarket all the cold traffic you're bringing. So those two can work really, really well together. Jasmine, hello. I just joined, so I don't know if you're already taking questions. Yep, we're ready. If I upload a customer match list to my PMax campaign, will it automatically retarget these customers or just use the data to better target my broader audience? It said, Jasmine, it's actually a hard target with expansion opportunity. So if you have a PMax campaign in the asset group, you have the signal of your own customers, it's going to try to remarket and resell those people. And there's no reason for them to be taken out of that list if they keep converting. So if you have a company that has, if you're marketing for a company or if your company yourself has good returning customers, it's just going to kind of come into a big remarketing. There will be some cold traffic overlaid with it, but primarily for the most part, you're going to actually kind of see the majority of your conversions coming from your own people Googling your brand name most often. That's not really going to scale or grow to customers for you. So most of the time, that's what really happens. Usama, I'm going to do an audio check because you're still fuzzy. Can you hear me?
1, 2, 3. No.
Your computer's bunny ears. I think we need to move around.
And I'm just gonna leave this live. You're on your own, John.
All right, man. I'll see you later, dude. Thanks.
I tried.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Awesome. Thanks, dude. And we're on our own. It's just us. So it's cool. All right. I can't pull the questions up on screen, so that's the only thing. I'm not the host, but we're winging it. We'll do it live. If anybody knows that meme. All right. Last week you showed strategy TCPA 90 days with buy frequency. In this calculation, what was your AOV based on the last 30, 90, 180 days? Typically, it's 180 days unless we'll need to have a reason for that to be reduced. So not all clients are the same. We have 200 clients, so it's kind of, I don't remember exactly which one I did last week, but I'll just give you some good guidelines. If you're looking at a TCPA 90 days with buy frequency, if that kind of like the bell curve maybe, your buy frequency is going to be essentially based on a few factors. Are you doing high email marketing? Are you keeping that up at a good rate? Because then you can bring those customers back in more often. Is there a reason why you would need to remarket them? Like it's bigger cross-sell or upsell opportunities for people that usually buy X, Y, and then they buy Y for 2 years. It's going to be very specific to the client. I have no golden rule. I have one client that needs to make a 400% ROAS because it's an expensive item. People will never buy again. People buy it every week. And that's how I judge it. If you're never going to buy again, I'm looking at a 90-day click-through conversion at a 4X, regardless of if so happens they better things later on. People buy everything every week. I'm looking at maybe like a 7-day ROAS, and then I might, just stop trying to market those people. Nothing in my data, in my PMax campaigns, brand excluded, brand at like $5 to $10 a day because I don't want these people to keep coming back and spend money on them. If a person spends $100 with you every month, and it costs you $80 to acquire that customer, you're going to probably spend 80 and then 40 and 40 and 40. So you just cut profitability out every single time they buy from you to keep marketing to them. So buy them once, find other ways that are cheaper to get them to return, such as email, SMS, etc. We just started a new store 3 months using all of your techniques, and it's amazing. I recommend everyone watching all your videos. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate that. It's always good to like hear that. Like we just try to hop on here and provide an immense amount of free to everyone. Well, unless you have to pay like $5 for the YouTube live thing, but that's a pretty cheap agency. To hear about that, Joe. That's the best part of the job. Everyone wins. I win. The client wins. The agency wins. People that want to buy from that client win. There's no losers in this whole scenario, which is why I love what I do. That's good. John Rollo, is there a way in analytics or ads to measure video in a conversion funnel? Example, YouTube click-through show up in analytic conversion path, but not views. Any solutions besides NordBeam? Yes. John, I'm going to actually share this with you here. Let me just make sure I'm not going to share the client's information. Cool. So this is not my best account in because it's not as high converting, but that is good here. Okay, I'm gonna wait till it shows up. Should be sharing. So if it's not sharing, there we go. Finally. And Dave, apparently I've skipped one of yours. Oh, I did. Let me go. I'll go back to yours real quick first. But just as a quick FYI on this one, in ads, if you click on segment by conversions and add event type, if you're using tag and you're using a 30-day engaged view conversion, I can see that out of 109 conversions, 97 of them came from clicks and 11.79 came from engaged views, which means they watched the video longer than 10 seconds, did not click on any ads in my Google Ads account, and navigate back to the website directly organically and converted on their own accord. So then you'll actually have that in Performance Max as well, because Performance Max also is to YouTube. So just know that you can segment by conversions, go to add event type, and it'll tell you, did they click on your ad or did they watch it for longer than 10 seconds, then convert later. Really cool, piece of knowledge there for you if you want to measure that. Dave says, why do PMax feed only versus standard shopping and display remarketing? So you can do standard shopping and display remarketing. There's no reason why you do PMax feed only. I use PMax feed only as a very tactical, very scenario driven, how to describe this? I guess situation. So for example, we're an agency. So people come to us and be like, well, I had great performance on smart shopping, but PMax is horrible. I could usually jumpstart a campaign or an account pretty quickly. Oh God, Usama's back again.
Does it work now?
It's a little bit better. Yeah. Good job. That's awesome.
You know what I did? I changed laptops completely.
Perfect. I like it. So we're talking about the difference between feed only and smart shopping, or sorry, PMax feed only and standard shopping and dynamic remarketing. So here's what I like is inside of PMax, I'm feed only. I'm going to have the 4 old inventories that smart shopping had. New PMax builds don't have those 4 old inventories. So if you had good performance in smart shopping and you, let's say, pause that and build a PMax campaign brand new and you start running that, you're going to have a brand new cold traffic audience that has never been engaged before because Smart Shopping was doing heavy dynamic remarketing, possibly of other channels. So a lot of times I've seen that Smart Shopping was 90% remarketing Facebook. Then they launched a PMax campaign that went cold on its own and said, well, this is completely different. Well, yeah, you're not getting the fast, easy, cheap clicks that you already warmed up by spending thousands of dollars on Facebook. It's not the same audience. I wouldn't launch a PMax feed only brand new. That doesn't work very well because I'd rather just use PMax at that point. It's going to find the channels for me that I can leverage and double down on and fill the gaps in. But a PMax feed only upgraded from Smart Shopping will take your Smart Shopping campaign that used to perform well and kick it right back into gear, even if it's dynamically remarketing all of your other organic and Facebook traffic, for example. Then you can launch PMax full build and go after Google's cold traffic, not just Facebook warm traffic. So they operate much differently.
What he said.
Yeah. Let's see. What am I at now? Hold on. All right. So John and Alex that got that one. I remember how amazing dial-up once was. Is Jason. I remember that. And then I also remember that like your mom would pick up the phone and then you'd lose internet and you'd be like, Mom, we're on the phone, I'm on the internet. Yeah.
I was alive during that time, in case everyone was wondering. I had that internet.
Yeah, right. I started on DOS. Does anyone remember DOS?
DOS.
Okay, yep. Oh man, now I'm officially old. Please, someone in the comments, if you remember DOS, we had to do C://run and then the command name to start a program. We didn't have a mouse back then. That's how old I am.
Nope.
All right. Let's see. A few weeks ago, I asked about sales-only audience signals. You said don't use your own audiences. I actually already was doing that though. So can you elaborate on negative consequences and how I define what other audience I should use instead? And can I still use my audiences alongside the audiences to use? So James, a couple things. There's a golden rule that always has exceptions. So it's not really a golden rule. That's why I always say there's no such thing as a golden rule. Without me diving in and personally looking at everyone's campaign, I'm giving generalities here and things to look for in case that's a scenario. So if you're using your own sales signals, Google, again, it's a hard target, which means Google is going to try to target those people and show ads to them. And when it does or does not get results, it then chooses a decision tree. Do get results, keep going after them. Don't get results, ignore them and go wherever else I decide I want to go. It has nothing to do with that signal, kind of. The signals that you feed it are, hey, go check over there. That's why I need you to look first. Well, I didn't find anything. Now what? I have a feeling based on your content that you have on your website, the feed attributes, and what I see just in the normal ether of whatever the internet is of traffic naturally flowing, I should go there. So it'll hunt on its own, kind of regardless of your signals, honestly. That's I've seen this a bunch of times, and I have proof of it because the audience signals that were showing good one week, I went after them, and then they disappeared. It's like, okay, so it wasn't that audience signal. That just so happened to be the audience that I found. So just know that if you feed it an audience signal, it's going to go after them. And if it does work, it's going to work great. But if it's your sales audience, you're going to get a lot of branded conversions or people that will always come back if you do have high LTVs. So just know that sometimes you're like, well, why can't I scale it? I add a budget, a ROAS dips. Well, you're beating your own people over the head harder with ads. So there's that element. I'm not saying this is 100% of the time, but that is generally what happens.
Do you know how
so if
I look at PMax and audiences? I feel like I should have a hand raise moment so I don't blow your momentum every time.
No, go. No, that's perfect.
You know how I look at it as like optimized targeting. Do you know how in like display campaigns where you have your audience set in and then you have like optimized targeting where Google can go outbound after if it chooses it, right?
Yeah.
Same thing with PMax. You can choose the audience you want, but if Google deems that it's not the best audience, it'll go outbound. So whenever you got to choose your audiences, you got to be picky with it.
Yeah. And what's funny is if you actually remember, if everyone remembers the smart display campaigns,
oh, yeah.
Here's something interesting. So everyone knows smart display campaigns. And here's what I mean by smart display is not using signals. Smart display doesn't really use signals. You give it some targets, but it usually kind of goes off on its own anyway. And sometimes just towards your own users like your brand. I'm sharing my screen. I'm waiting for it to pop up with someone. You don't see my screen yet, do you?
Nope.
Okay, there's like a 10-second lag. So I'm sharing my screen, but check this out. I have a very strong hunch just from how everything's been flowing in Google Ads lately that smart display is actually what's in PMax. It's not really a signal display. It's pure smart display, which sometimes does work actually. As soon as this thing freaking loads. Anywho, once the screen shares, you're going to see starting August 1st, 2022, which is already in the past.
Close.
You'll only be able to
Come on.
create standard display campaigns. Smart display campaigns will become standard display campaigns. Their settings and performance won't be affected. So smart display campaigns went away. So if y'all want to see this, just hop into your account, try to start a smart display campaign. You'll notice you can't, or it's going to be turning into. Why? I get eaten up by PMax. Okie dokie. Interdeep, haven't seen you in a while. Thanks, man. It's good to see you. My YouTube campaigns are spending more than my daily budget. Oh, it also spends amount. It spends the whole amount. I think is what you're saying. Amount in a few hours. How can I control so that it spends evenly and not over my daily budget? First thing I would do is set a low TROAS or TCPA, whatever your bidding strategy is available to you. If it's stuck on like target CPM and target CPD, you have to pay less for it. But right now you have a very aggressive setting somehow, and I can't tell you without knowing what the bidding strategy is, what type of campaign is it? Is it in stream? Is it in feed? Is it sequencing? Is it target frequency? A lot of different reasons for what you can and can't choose. But you do have a very aggressive campaign. You need to set some restrictions. My opinion, if you're using a conversion-based bidding strategy, set a TROAS at like 50%. Choose something that is going to restrict it a bit, but still learn. Spend all the money if you want to, but at least try to give me half. Okay, well, I can't blow it in an hour for no results. So you'll want to place restriction. You'll see that it actually will start to slow down its launching of its crazy spend and more evenly distributed over time. But once you set that setting, wait 5 to 6 days. It's not going to happen the next day. It might die the next day, may come back the next day, and then may evenly give it some time to learn. Joseph, are you able to share the general industry they're in? I'm thinking you're talking about my screen share. Yes, they sell tea accessories.
Yes.
Dennis, hi John. Do you think videos are a must-have for a good PMax campaign? No, but you're never going to find a scenario like I did if you don't use them. Most of our campaigns are YouTube heavy. They're not. YouTube is a great bolt-on. It's a great top of funnel. It's a great brand driver. It's a great brand awareness. You see the overall effects of YouTube in your MER, media efficiency ratio, which means if you're spending 20 grand a month and you put like 2 grand a month more on YouTube, you're just going to see everything kind of get better just because you have more flow throughout your all campaign types. But very rarely do we see PMax just take over. And that was actually 3 months of failing PMax performance before Google's like, well, what about YouTube? And so that's why you give things time. But I do think that they're something you should test. If you're not already like, I have 1,000 ROAS all day on my shopping and search in PMax, and I can scale this to 100 times more than I can afford. There's no reason to. Usama streaming 3 frames per second. Not anymore, Jason.
Was.
All right, Usama, this one's for you. They said, hi, John. If I have a PMax all products, multiple asset groups, and a PMax 0 clicks products campaign, will the 0 clicks products compete with the all products campaign?
Honestly, I can't see the questions because I started.
Okay.
Like, way up.
That's right.
That's why I'm waiting for you to catch up to where I got.
Oh, got it.
So till
All
then,
right,
I'm
all right,
just
we'll
gonna
do
stay.
So Dylan says, all right, if I have a PMax all products in multiple different asset groups and a PMax 0 clicks products, which I mean, I'm guessing that means that there's no clicks in there. Will the campaign that has 0 clicks compete with the all products campaign? I have an answer. I want to hear your answer too.
So he has a PMax campaign that has 0 clicks and another one that has all the asset groups.
All
so it's two
so
separate two separate PMax campaigns. Will they compete? Yeah, they will. What was the rest of the question? One, will they compete? Yes. And then what was the rest of the question?
That was it. Like, will they compete with each other?
I say yes. I've seen the reason I say yes is because I've launched PMax campaigns where we've had the same products. The only difference would be that we might have changed ad copy and we might have changed the signals to take the best performing signals out of the PMax campaign. And what I saw every single time, and this was from one of 2 or 3 tests that I ran, that they would compete in the sense one PMax would be good one week and the other would be good the next week. It would fluctuate between them. And then it would hit a point where one would completely dominate and the other one would just die down. So like they would compete until one completely dominated and the other would die down and you would turn out. But there was never a consistent time where one was dominating the whole time. It was just like going back and forth with one another, bashing at one another. That's my answer.
That's the same thing that I've seen too. Is like Google's just like, well, that campaign's doing better today, and well, that campaign's doing better,
Exactly.
and it'll split, and then you just get flip flopping performance.
Yep.
Gert Groot, this is my buddy Gert. We chat on LinkedIn all the time. It says small budget. If you got a few pages you want to target, but main theme is the same, would you create multiple ad groups to target the different pages, or one RSA and change the final URL at keyword level? Honestly, for small budget and a few pages, I always run DSA first before running a standard search campaign. Yeah, only because that gives me the signals and waypoints that I need. It's like, okay, here's where my CPC can be for these type of keywords, for this type of positioning, but this type of results, and then I'll double down on it by making a campaign go after it. Because what I like about DSA is I can kind of set no targets yet. It's just, it gives you a natural feel of the market in the competitive ecosystem. I always say, starting off on a brand new campaign with a brand new client, a brand new industry, I'm like, what's the CPC going to be? I'm like, 2.
I don't know.
Start there. Right? You have to fail before you can find out where you're wrong. So that's why I like DSA, is it kind of is failed proof in the beginning. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. That's what we're doing with our supplement, the big supplement client we have. We launched a DSA just for the sake of knowing what our CPCs are, knowing what our top of funnel keywords are, and knowing if they convert or not. Like, that's the only reason we have a DSA. And once we identify those, we're going to go really heavy on search campaigns and properly building them out.
Yep, exactly. I like it. Jasmine says, thanks. I've heard that PMax is less focused on retargeting and more focused on audience signals. Yeah, it's more focused on your site content than anything else. Audience signals is a good waypoint, but retargeting, it does about 20% of it. And the most retargeting that it usually goes through is the GDN network. So dynamic remarketing, YouTube remarketing, etc. But you're 100% right. Can PMax YouTube be evergreen, or will it deliver worse results over time? I have a campaign that I ran 1 4-minute ad for about a year and spent $1 million a year on it, and it has not decayed. So it can work for sure. Depends on your targeting though. What were you gonna say, Usama?
I was gonna say, if you see PMax doing well on YouTube, launch the YouTube campaign, because sometimes PMax is weird. It will like YouTube one week and it won't like it the other week, and that might just kill your campaign.
Yeah.
And we saw that with our
also,
T client, and that's why we launched the YouTube afterwards, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then it's just like, it works, it doesn't work. It's like, okay, it's all dependent upon, like, here's the thing is, when you launch different campaigns, you set the rules. I want these type of people that are interested in this or doing that to see this video. Performance Max is like, okay, I want those same people, but on any channel. And if they just happen to be on YouTube and they convert and click on YouTube, it'll like YouTube. But if all of a sudden they start to click on shopping ads, you'll see YouTube die off. So PMax is channel agnostic, user driven. Individual channels are user agnostic, channel driven. There's a paradigm shift there that doesn't overlap. So just know that that's a thing. +1 to Jason's question. Also curious about audience signals overall. Wait. Okay. Yeah. We got to that one. Jasmine, I think I've missed a part on yours though. It says, nope, I got that one. Yep. All right. We're all caught up here. Josh, when running a standard shopping campaign alongside PMax campaign, do you recommend the audiences you choose to be either targeting or observation? I actually have not found a good way to run a standard shopping campaign alongside of a PMax campaign. I had a screenshot earlier in our internal training. It literally went from I had a standard shopping and a PMax. And when I was running PMax on when I was running standard shopping on manual CPC with high CPCs, PMax decayed. 0 spend. I'm trying to spend $2,000 a day, and it went 2 days of 0 spend. I threw my standard shopping campaign from max CPC over to TROAS, which means it was going to restrict a little bit. My standard shopping campaign immediately flatlined to 0, and my PMax campaign shot up to $2,000 a day. Google was prioritizing where it could find the more money for itself, essentially. That's the only thing I've been able to identify so far. So when I said, hey, Google, I'll pay more per click and more per day on this campaign, it says, well, that one wins. I'm like, but then I'll spend, but what if I start to restrict it? Well, then we're going to take it all away. We're going to give it to that one. Now that one wins. So I can't find a good, consistent way that it doesn't flip-flop based on what's willing to spend the most amount of CPC and ad spend that day. So I haven't been able to find it at all. Your mileage may vary, but I can only really have those few use cases where I'm just like, I'm not doing that anymore. James, if starting a new PMax, what is the difference between creating a new campaign as opposed to duplicating an existing campaign? And which of the choices is recommended? So here's what's funny. I find better launching a PMax campaigns when I duplicate a campaign rather than starting from scratch. There's no literature. There's no use cases. It's just been a consistent thing that happens for me, and I just didn't know if it was based on luck, market conditions. I don't know. But ask Google, one of the developers at Google, I was like, hey, my theory is that it kind of kept all the same learning from that campaign and kind of just springboarded it. They're like, we kind of think so. I'm like, all right, so I don't know. Duplicating campaigns just is my go because I'm lazy and it seems to pop up a little better. So, yeah, I would try.
So
I would try for sure.
duplicating campaign stuff has actually been working for a long time. Like it works for search shopping. While before PMax and before we had shopping and search or like any automated ones, people would just duplicate campaigns, and they always found that the duplicated campaigns always outperformed the new ones every single time.
Yeah, I don't know why. And Google's just like,
Same.
we do too. And we're like, why? We're like, I don't know.
It just
But
works.
if you
just go
duplicate
with it.
I know, like, it's always better. There's something there, like it strips all the, like, you know, when you reset a feed and all of your shopping conversions data goes away, but it's still there. That's kind of what I'm thinking is doing, honestly.
Probably.
Dave says PMax feed only does not remarket though, correct? No, it actually primarily remarkets, honestly, especially if it's a, well, not necessarily if it's a standard shop, or sorry, if it's a smart shopping campaign that's been upgraded, 80% remarketing. If it's a brand new PMax feed only, it will do cold traffic unless you have traffic coming from other sources, including other Google Ads campaigns. So it'll say, what do I need to do? Well, I need to take my product and I need to put it in front of someone and I need to buy. Who is that? Well, there's no one on my site, so I'll go find Usama. Versus, I need to put my product in front of somebody, they need to buy. Well, who would that be? Well, I got 100 people with an item that's added to the cart yesterday, so I'm going to go there. It all depends on that bidding strategy and if they're clicking on those dynamic remarketing ads and converting or not. It's always use case. But those are the differentiators between will and will not work. Gert says, I use PMax feed only to move products automatically based on results. Heroes and sidekicks get more budget, villains less, and zombies get the chance to get performing. So Gert was talking about is he has a campaign priority level based on what products and how they're performing. It's like best, good, medium, low. And that's what it says, like heroes, sidekicks, villains, and then zombies. It's actually really fantastic, right?
I like the names.
I know, I love it. So that's what he does. He actually moves it automatically. I have a bit of a different experience than Gert does, though, just because it's kind of a I don't know why, but for any reason, whenever I look at shopping results, I usually see that that's actually not the product I was selling. So usually I would prefer to stick them in one just because I also try to scale really fast. So I think that it just has better algorithm, but definitely an awesome strategy to kind of split them up in four. And if they're not overlapping, like people aren't clicking on item A and buying item D, yeah, it's a really good way to essentially give it more ad spend, less ad spend based on that performance.
I think Gert's strategy works more in the scenario where your product types aren't as overlapping. Like if you're selling skincare, you might land, like we have skincare brands, they land on one thing, go convert on something else. But if you're selling like random products out of the blue that makes no sense, have no correlation to one another, they probably just come to that product and then convert on that.
Yeah, so we have clients, exactly. We have clients that sell things like fence posts and kitchen sinks. Like you don't go to buy a fence post, but like, well, crap, I needed a kitchen sink instead. Like that doesn't happen. Like, you know, hair regrowth shampoo and hair regrowth conditioner. Yeah, that's going to overlap too much.
Yeah.
Yep. So James says PMax with a small budget, is the signal for demographics too broad to use in PMax? No, it just may take more time. There's an X and Y axis. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish.
Oh, I was going to say there's an X and Y axis. More spend equals shorter time to optimization, less spend equals longer time. There's one thing I like and one thing I don't about your strategy. Demographics will have, if it works, will work forever. If it doesn't work, you're going to take 4 months and a medium amount of spend to find out, well, that sucked. So it's a risky game. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say the same thing. It becomes too restrictive. It takes too much time. So like if you're going after a certain demographic, you don't know how well it's gonna work. You can't make guesses because majority of Google just ends up in unknown now.
Right, I know. Yeah, that's what's funny. I love that Google's like target these people. It's like you can't. I'm like, oh, never mind. I've had conversations with Google where I'm like, hey, actually, I have a standard shopping campaign and I put all of my existing customers in there and I negated them 90%. They're like, why did you just exclude them? I'm like, can you show me how? They're like, oh, you actually can't. Never mind. I'm like, thanks. It's like, good thing we follow your literature. I remember DOS. Thank you, Jason. DOS was great. Thank you, Dave. Yeah, old men unite. Woo! Tariq says, yeah, DOS is old school. Black screen. That's right. Black screen, green text. Yeah, that's probably the reason why I have bad eyesight nowadays. I love typing delete star period star and the C. Yep. Oh my god. All this fun stuff. All right, Dylan says, trying to set up dynamic remarketing on Shopify with GTM, but values and IDs aren't pulling through. Should I use GTag method? Pros and cons of both. It almost seems your data layers are matching up for some reason, and it could be theme based. But
Yeah.
a dynamic remarketing I fail when it wasn't a data issue. What do you think, Usama?
Same. It's probably not a Shopify platform because if they're on something like WooCommerce or Magento, it's really hard. It's like a mission to get it to work.
He's on Shopify.
The other thing, okay. Do you know if he's on the healthcare industry? Oh wait, but the IDs don't match. Never mind. That's a theme issue then.
That's what I'm saying. It's got to be a theme issue. Like the data layers and the theme are pulling something different than standard Shopify. Dylan, investigate data layers. If you have any questions, go to measurementmarketing.io. What?
I remember Dylan. I think he sells supplement, if I remember correctly. We're not allowed to remarket people if you're. I don't know if I'm thinking of the same Dylan. There was a
Dylan. You're thinking of a
Dylan.
He was in our mastermind class.
From the mastermind, that Dylan.
Gummies that are creatine.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Exactly.
Dylan, if you're the right Dylan, just say yes or no. But here's the thing: is like you should be able to set up a dynamic remarketing, should pull it in. Your campaigns just wouldn't use it. So like with a couple clients that were selling like prescription drugs, I could pull it in, but they just pull into an unavailable audience. So it was like, yeah, like it would work functionally. It just can't use it when it lands. So that's what I was thinking about. It actually might be an issue.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. I've had custom theme issues in Shopify where it's like, oh, that's not carbon, that's total value. I'm like, well, shit. Like, thanks. You just changed something stupid because Mr. or Mrs. Developer wanted to be unique. Thanks, John. Great answer. Thanks, Usama, says Jason. James Webb. Ecom. How much budget do you recommend for YouTube to perform well? And what bidding strategy do you recommend for YouTube? This is in our training an hour ago. Google recommends 15 times your current CPA to be optimized after 8 days. What this means, if you have a $100 cost per conversion, you guys spend $1,500 a day. $1,500 a day for a $100 cost per conversion for this to start to work fairly well after 7 to 8 days, the official Google language. If you do 10, it takes like 2 weeks. If you do like 5 to 10, it takes like 3 to 4 weeks. And that X and Y axis is real. You don't have to have a recommended budget. It's when do you need it to work? And how much are you willing to spend and for how long to fix that? If you want to spend $100,000 tomorrow, I guarantee you it'll work beautifully day 2. You're spending $100,000 tomorrow. So that's just that extreme case. And I'm not to be rude, but I'm just saying like that's exactly how it works. It's just buying data for Google.
Patient with it. Yeah. You either spend a lot or you be extremely patient.
Yeah, and your timeline plays an consideration. Like if you look at your campaigns, like on average, it takes 14 days for impression to be recorded as a conversion. You're not actually going to be counting those conversions instead of YouTube until day 15, and that's only the first day's result. So just know how that works. Donald, wait. Oh,
Donald, it's
Dave. No. I think jumped as soon as someone chatted. The whole thing moved down. Dave, that's probably why I missed you last time, Dave. Thank you. Because I think I almost skipped David, and it's not because I hate you, Dave. I do, but I just missed your question here. Dave always haggles us. I love it. Sometimes it does work. Actually, I feel confident about that. Yeah. It's 60% of the time works every time, Dave.
What is he referring to?
I don't remember. I say too much on these things to remember. I'm like a goldfish. I got a 3-second memory.
I'm like, wait, what is Dave talking about?
I don't remember. We'll have to find out. Dave,
Yeah.
I don't remember the answer I gave you. I just kind of rapid fire these things. Again, goldfish memory. So more words helps my brain. Hello, Australia. Long time watch, first time catching it live. Thank you, Samuel. Welcome from Australia. Good night, mate. How'd I do? Is that bad? Is that really embarrassing?
That was good. I don't know. We'll let the people
All right,
decide.
good. I come on here and become a dance monkey for everyone. You're welcome. How do you calculate the MER? Very simple, Dave. It's just it's your company ROAS. If I make per month and I spend 5 on search, shopping, Facebook, everything, your MER is 2. You spend $5,000 on all these channels, you make $10,000 in revenue. That's media efficiency ratio. All your media, how efficient is it for your spend to revenue ratio?
What John said.
All right, James says, yep, when you start a new PMax on an existing account, how long do you leave PMax untouched before changing anything if the results are not good? Man, it's the age-old question. And the not fun question is like 6 to 8 weeks at least. Honestly, that's what sucks. That one tea accessory company that found out that YouTube can get $40 cost per conversions when left untouched, how long did that take, Usama?
A while, a couple months.
3 months, yeah. So
yeah,
now
before...
the client only runs YouTube.
Yeah,
I have use cases, and when I say only run YouTube, there's no Facebook either.
Yeah, the technical Google recommendation is 6 to 8 weeks, but we've seen it work in like a week, and then it take a couple months for us to see anything. So it just varies heavily industry to industry, business to business. There's no right answer.
James, if you can add as many signals as you can, don't even need to add them as different asset groups. Just add as many signals as you can. You can have 50 signals in an asset group if you don't have a lot of different media. But I mean, just it sucks. But we're gonna not do it by yourself and let PMax do it. You got to give it time. Here's a good idea, and I would challenge everyone to really take a hard internal look at themselves. If you were doing this not PMax, how long would you test all channels of Google before on yourself? That's a very good question. If you're like, hey, I need to figure things out in Google, that's PMax. Do you want to say something, Usama?
No, I was gonna just joke and be like, I give myself a day. Then I'd be like, okay, I
2 days tops.
That's it.
And I give myself $6. What's my ROAS?
Right.
All right. Donald Wilson says currently supplements. Oh, that's a hard industry, Donald. So congratulations on not getting banned yet from Google. Currently, supplements were about $15, $20 over market price, so we have $12 shipping. For shopping ads, how much of a factor does price and shipping cost play into ad rank? Not ad rank too much, not really. You can outspend yourself there, but the problem is ad rank is the hurdle that you don't want to focus on. Here's my opinion. In standard shopping, or just shopping ads where you're showing up on the SERPs, what you have to imagine is, would you honestly look at 3 of the same products and be like, well, that one's $20 more expensive, I'll click there? And even if you do, then you have to jump to the next hurdle, which is, I'll click the more expensive, and then I'll also pay the more expensive one. My opinion would be to hide from shopping. Bring in inbound search. You're not going to be in a competitive ecosystem like shopping. Do YouTube, do discovery, do display. I wouldn't do PMax, but stay out of against the cheaper competitor with the same product as you, and then trying to pay more to overtake them in the rank. You're paying more versions because they're one back button away from finding out that they could get it cheaper. That's my opinion. Now, again, all scenarios are different, but that's my just gut reaction to
I have a slightly different one. I think the slight difference in price is okay. I think what he needs to focus more on is the landing pages, because he can get, even if someone sees a high price point, if he can convince someone on the landing page, then he's solid. If he has a solid landing page, he'll be good. Our supplement client, the one we manage, his landing pages are amazing, right? And he converts cold traffic like in insane amounts, like no tomorrow. So your landing page probably has a more probably has more effect to how well you convert people than your price points. Like I think shipping will throw them off, $12 shipping, but I don't think the 15 to 20 bucks is too aggressive, depending on what the product is. If you have industries that are selling like $15 and you're at like $30, yeah, that's gonna throw them off. Not that aggressive.
Yeah, and I think your supplements are usually around $30 to $60. If you're coming at like 45 to 80, like Osama said, when you said over market price, my opinion, and I jumped the gun there, and I'm an idiot. I thought you were selling the same product as everyone else. Like, if I have a Nike shoe and the other Nike shoe that's the same shoe is 20 bucks cheaper than mine, bad. But if you're over market price for the industry, my apologies. Some 100% right. Yes. I thought it was market price for that product. That was my mistake. But if it's a unique product, say long, you can provide way value in content, videos, user-generated content, reviews, all that stuff. Can absolutely convince the person. But if it's the same product, and it's the same purpose, everything, same manufacturer, same time, don't die in shopping if you're 20 bucks more expensive. Exactly. Yep. I would think the only way they would not compete if they're not in the feed of that other PMax campaign. Yeah, like if they're not absolutely competing against feed only, David. Yeah. That's my opinion too. Sounds like dual PMax fight to the death. They do. Sometimes so it's almost like it's not necessarily like. Well, it's funny is if you have one PMax campaign at $100 and then two PMax campaigns at $100 sharing it, you'll spend 50. It's like it splits. It doesn't do twice as good. It just does half as efficient each. Yeah.
Yeah.
My PMax has been performing good, and I haven't done much to optimize it aside from good assets. Nothing with audience signals though. Should I just leave it as is? Jasmine, yes. Any change in performance max has a 14 to 20 day effect. Means when you change it, things dip. You gotta wait 3 weeks to see if that dip is temporary. So working, don't change it.
Don't fix what's already broken. Wait, I said it wrong.
Yeah. Don't fix what's not broken.
Yes.
I did that the other week, bro. I'm like, there's two types of people: the people that do this and the people that are wrong. I'm like, wait, no, that's not what I meant. Oh man. All right. So, do you think it's a good testing strategy to test many products with standard shopping campaigns? And if you can, use a low T ROAS goal. So if you have like 1,000 SKUs and you're going to give you a baseline of 100 ROAS or above, then you'll find like, the Pareto's 80-20, all of a sudden 20% of products will just rise to the top. If you want to be shut off all the other ones and see if you can crank the ROAS of those products and then do it all over again. Did you try PMax with attention on instead of DSA to start on small? Yes, that we actually find that PMax on small budgets are more difficult if you have a fairly decent company, because small budgets because you can't exclude branding. I know that you have the brand campaign. So Gert's the one that told me to rep and have them add the negative keyword list to the PMax campaign, and then you dictate what's in that list. I was like, oh, that's a genius idea. Yeah. So he's a good advertiser. He knows what he's doing. For us, brand coming in sometimes, just because I'm good. Yeah.
I was just wondering, is Gert talking about lead gen clients or e-com? Because that'll be different.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure e-com. But if we try to max URL expansion on it, I find that URL expansion only really works like fine though, honestly. I usually, unless there's a big bunch of brand traffic, then that just hits homepage. But if it's not, if there's not a homepage asset group expansions on, I see small amounts, and that's okay. But I don't see much difference between URL expansion on and off. Honestly, it's not really not really a big deciding factor. Yeah. The only thing I'll see is with high spend clients, like if I'm spending like 5-10K a day, and I have like one campaign where I spend 5 to 10K per day on per PMax there. When I turn URL expansion on, I start to scoop up searches from the other PMax campaigns and convert mine. So it's kind of like that's where it starts to overlap too much. I get better results,
so
just not the ones wrong.
I ran an interesting test that kept my PMax alive for a long time. It's dead now, but I kept it alive for a long time, where I ran a DSA on an automated bidding strategy in parallel to PMax. They shared search terms for a long time. Like 1 week, PMax was dominating a search term. The next week, DSA was dominating. And it was all converting. They would just like steal from each other, and they were killing it for a long time. Like I had a TROAS run for like 3 months straight without touching it. And TROAS doesn't last that long. Barely ever does.
Right.
I'm like, you know what? It's working. I'm not going to touch it. Just let
And
it
then it
go.
died.
Client's happy. And then it died. Now I got to figure out what to do with it.
Just turned hero as all.
Yeah.
Might be
But
a
it
good
stayed
idea.
active for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had campaigns where I ran like 6 months with T-Row on and like smart shopping. I miss those days.
Mhm.
Like 10 grand a day,
Same.
400 ROAS, and it bounced between like 6 and 8. And the client's like, "Wow, you're doing really good." I'm like, "You got it."
Putting in so much
smart
work.
All right, James Webb, ecom client has products that are constantly out of stock, given that the customer only sells one product at a time and then adds new products. Shopping got bad performance. Do you have any tips? Fire the client.
Don't run PMax.
Next.
And don't run PMax. We also have a client that, yeah, okay. Actually, I won't talk about it because they'll know.
Yep. Moving on. So, I if you have one product that sells at a time until it goes out of stock, you're literally using all of the opposite factors that Google wants. It's like consistent landing page. Nope. Item ID. Nope. Remarketing audience. Nope. Shit.
It's because Google figures out the audience for that product, and it starts narrowing down on it. It starts getting really good at finding the right customer for it, and then all of a sudden you're out of stock. And then Google's like, especially in PMax campaigns, Google's like, "What the heck do I do now? I have $100 to spend, but nowhere to spend it for. Let me just toss it at randomness now." And then
it's
that's
like,
when it
YouTube
takes
and
a
cat
dip.
videos. Right. Yeah. I know it's so funny. They completely lose it. Even standard shopping. Here's the thing. The only thing I think you can actually do is standard shopping and manual campaigns on search. Oh, sorry, manual shopping, manual search. That's it. No automated bidding strategies. It's not long enough, and you're gonna have to really control that cost before I get like half of the campaigns testing while spending the money at full daily ad spend, selling half the product inventory on testing, find consistency, and then drop off. So it's half efficient for half the time. It's just, it's not a good idea for me. Can you explain what you mean by duplicated campaign? Jason, yes. Click the campaign, click copy, click paste, duplicated campaign. It strips out all of the results, but it keeps the structure exactly the same. So you duplicate the campaign, change a few things, and now you have a different campaign. John, what do you think of the new Google audio ads? Ooh, I can't tell you. I'm under NDA and I got access to the slides, so I can't actually say it out loud. But from everything that I could tell, real sweet on low spend, slow burns. It's like radio. Like if you're listening to YouTube music and your screen's off, like if you're on, like, let's say, or not screen's off, but the application's kind of like idle and you haven't been engaging it, it's like it'll run an audio ad on the music video that you're watching. Really cool. I think it's going to piss a lot of people off because people go to YouTube to, like, listen to music, not be like, halfway through, it's like, do you want a pillow? It's like, gosh, so I'm listening to music. So let's just find out how that works first. But really cool if it's cheap, slow burn, and you can get a really, really, really relevant audience. You're not going to piss off and interrupt your style marketing. But I'm excited. It's good stuff. Samuel, ecom here. We screwed up. I love the way he starts that. We screwed up and renamed our feed label. It tanked all of our PMax's standard shopping. Any recommendations? If it's over 2 days, you're biting that bullet, honestly. The feed label, basically just like, it's almost like the same thing about all your products going out of stock. Don't touch it. Dip the spend down and wait. It's the only thing I could tell you. Maybe T-ROAS, but if there's like 10 conversions a week and it's only been a week or two, maybe it's gonna dip too hard. Yeah. That's what I'm saying, is just keep the aggressive bidding strategy of maximize conversion value. Keep that active, just dip your spend. You're gonna overspend for some traffic, but it'll learn fast. So mitigate the hemorrhaging while learning. Looking to test broad match with RLSA. Okay. That was like your DSA RLSA, very similar.
Yeah.
The audience size isn't huge. Would TCPA too restrictive? If it's an RLSA, I would even use a TCPA. Just spend whatever you want to afford to spend aggressively as you can. It's an RLSA, so
It's
I mean,
marketing.
but that's also a lot of restrictions. It's like, have they been to the site? Yes. Are they still searching those cold traffic keywords? Yes. Are we sure they're going to convert this time if they come back? No. Then don't spend. So it's kind of like you've already are TCPA'd your own audience, really. Like, what are you willing to spend on those people? Start with a daily, or lower daily ad spend until that proves concept, and then scale up.
Yep. I actually tested
Just,
TCPA on an RLSA campaign. It spent no money. I was like, maybe
yeah,
this will
it's just,
help.
yeah, it's just gonna
It didn't.
die
It's
off.
too
You need to
small
keep
of
it
an
learning.
audience. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, if that's the case, would you recommend duplicating the feed only PMax campaign to make that your cold traffic PMax campaign instead? Oh, and starting from yeah, I mean you can. At that point in time, if you're gonna duplicate a feed only, there's literally nothing in it. I mean, when you hit start new PMax campaign, you give it signals, which feed only doesn't have. You need to give it ad groups, which feed only doesn't have. If it's already working, I mean at that point in time, if it's not an upgrade from Smart Shopping campaign, just build it out. If it's an upgrade from Smart Shopping campaign, you duplicating it will not inherit the same four audiences that it knows if it's replicated. So it's because it's not an upgraded one. So at that point in time, if it's a upgraded from, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna ask about, actually it was more of like a test to see. I haven't tested this yet, but you know when you create a regular shopping campaign, you still have the option of creating a smart shopping campaign, but it gets created as a PMax campaign. Have we ever tested that instead of creating a PMax campaign and then only running feed in it?
I'm in a what's your campaign objective? So you do sales,
Shopping, like a create a shopping ad, like a shopping campaign.
okay.
And then do you see like a regular standard and a smart shopping? Because I saw that
No, it
like
just
2
says
days ago.
Performance Max. Mine says Performance Max, standard shopping.
Like in the two options that you get.
Yeah. I want to see if this share screen actually works. Hold on.
I'm on another computer and I don't have GADS logged in into this, so I can't check. Oh,
There
it
we go.
worked.
So watch. It's sales, this goal, shopping, Performance Max.
Mine
standard.
said smart shopping like a little while ago, but then it said PMax with it. And I was like, wait,
Oh,
what?
really?
Yeah.
Quick, make one.
I know. I screwed up.
Oh, you should have made one an upgrade and be like, I'm invincible. Uh-oh. Oh, no.
Okay. We
Hold
can still
on.
hear you. Oh, yeah. John, testing. Can you hear me?
I just pulled out my own headphones. Sorry. All right. Gert's PMax sounds nothing like mine. His is scary. Yeah, Gert's PMax had zombies in it.
Yeah, man.
James, when you take over accounts ecom to give new customer the right expectations, how long do you generally say it takes before you deliver results? 3 to 6 months to consistent results. You'll have results day 2, but day 3 is gonna be better than day 2. Day 4 is gonna be better than day 3, etc. So I usually say, hey, the first 3 months are the worst campaign's ever gonna look, or it's not gonna work. But that's, I mean, we usually will take on, a lot of our clients don't start from scratch though, or a lot of our clients are like, hey, I've been spending 20 grand and it started to fail. Like, why? And then we go and diagnose, we make recommendations, they agree with it, we take them on as clients, then we change it. So out of probably 20 clients, maybe 1 is new, just because we're kind of an expensive agency, and for a lot of overkill for people like, hey, I just want to start off and have like 3 grand a month. It's like, well, we start 10 grand a month. So that's where it's not a good fit for us. So what you'd have to pay for us to run a 3 grand per month campaign, you're basically doubling your monthly budget for marketing by hiring us. And we're not gonna be able to do much for $2,500 a month anyway. It's like, okay, we'll run these 3 campaigns and wait 30 days. It's just no one wins in that situation, really. Dylan says, no, I'm a first time chatter.
We had the wrong Dylan.
Almost.
We had the wrong Dylan.
Oh, wrong Dylan. It's a sneaker client. Okay, so Dylan, check data layer. It's got to be data layer. And if you can, reach out to Google's tag implementation team. They'll have the answers for you immediately off of that theme, and they're free. James, I don't know we're over time, but we started like 10 minutes late, so I'm going to run 10 minutes late. What do you think about starting a PMax with maximized conversions with TCPA goals? I don't like it. I actually don't run PMax with TCPA or TROAS. I have a video on it about on my channel. Why it goes in really good depth, but it says how to run Performance Max without TCP or TROAS, or how to manage ROAS without TCP or ROAS. I don't remember what it's called. It's like 3 weeks ago on the channel.
Yeah.
You'll see why. There's actually a really good reason why.
Do you even run maximize conversions?
Huh?
Do you prefer maximize conversion or conversion value?
Maximize conversions, because if it's LTV based, I don't mind spending $80 to get a $60 sale with an 80% ROAS, as long as it's a new customer and it has an LTV of 300. I don't need to make 3x ROAS on a new one. But I can find a divisional of the AOV or LTV and then use it as a TCPA. Everyone always spends $100 at 3 months.
Yep.
Okay, so $25 cost per conversion. Now I'm at a 4x return in 3 months. Hi, have you ever seen product image not fetching Google Ads from Merchant Center? They show in Merchant Center, but are blank in Google Ads product list. No, that sounds like a big. That sounds like a big mess up on Google, like from a glitch perspective. I'd definitely reach out to GMC support on that one and be like, what the hell? They would probably say, I don't know, let me figure it out. But that's nothing that you're going to do. Not unless I've just never seen something like that before, but that's never happened for us. Do you split test images and titles on Google Shopping? What's your strategy? I do not split test. Never. I have 17 reasons why split tests are not real. Honestly, I've actually had a client that,
of them.
I actually just talked about this 2 months ago. The client's like, I'm going to split test this. I'm like, don't do it. And he split tested it. But I didn't say don't do it. I said, I don't think it's going to work, but let's do it. And I had a bad feeling about it, but since I don't have any concrete data, everything's a test. So it's like, God, I got a bad feeling about it. Some of the reasons are, what is the person doing before? What were they searching at your website before? They engaged with you on social. What was a term? Like all these things, and then it's like, and then they see your image. Now take the other person and just know that they're the same age, sex, location, IP address, the same thing they Googled recently. Everything is exactly the same. Is that a realistic scenario? No. So what are you A/B testing? Does Bob like this image and does Jan like that image? What's your test? I don't like it. So I don't like split testing images because, in my opinion, I've never seen an image be like, well, crap, I don't want that product, but that is a damn good image. Here's my credit card. That's not how things work, in my opinion. So I don't like split tests. Return traffic, new traffic, social traffic. I mean, there's so many things that I could say is like, it's not a split test for me. Yes, you need to optimize your imagery. I do it consecutively, which means I use this image for 3 months. I use this image for 3 months, which has a better click-through rate globally. Okay. Is it going to change the needle? Like, am I going to double the business because I changed the image? No. You see incremental improvements, but not outside the normal ebb and flows of things like bidding strategy and stock and out-of-stock and daily ad spends. So I have a hard time being like, aha, that one worked better. No, that's like saying you didn't touch your campaign and you're up 10%. What did you do in your split test? I slept. Nothing. It's got 10% better this week. All right. Wait. John just says he hates me. Heartbroken. Love you, Dave.
How dare you, John?
I mean, how would you? What's that?
I said, how dare you hate on Dave?
I know. I remember Dave. He was just like, John, I don't believe you. I'm like, then why are you watching, Dave? But he's still here. So he passed the test.
How would you mark it up?
If you love something, set it free, right, Dave?
Yep.
All right. How would you market a blue ocean product on Google Ads? I keep hearing that name. What is a blue ocean product?
I'm gonna Google it.
What is that?
Isn't a blue ocean product something that's like so actively, like it's all over the place? It's an empty market.
Oh, an entrepreneur's dream without any competition. Allowing.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. That makes sense. How would you market a blue ocean product on Google Ads? YouTube. If you're like, hey, anybody that sees this product's gonna want it, blast the airwaves at a penny per view. YouTube. That'd be the first thing I would do. I need to know more in order to change my opinion.
But here, let me counter that.
Yeah.
Let me counter that. So you said blue ocean product launch it on YouTube. Wouldn't you test it on shopping first to see if people actually want it first? Like you have a blue ocean product that you think is selling well. I would personally go test it on shopping and search first to see if it sells. And then if I see even a little bit of sales or momentum coming in and the type, I would get enough feel for the keywords and then I would go after YouTube.
Okay. I was assuming YouTube was like everyone in the world has 2 feet in one shoe and I have the other shoe. Like that's what I thought it was. Like, oh my gosh, a no-brainer. Of course, I would love to have a microwave. Microwave, that's a blue ocean product to me. I don't know if that's what that means though. I literally Googled it for like 8 seconds. If we think it's going to be a blue ocean, like, yes, everyone wants 100% right. Test it with inbound direct response first. But then, yeah, YouTube, I don't like display, but that'd be the second thing you'd want to run is like display discovery. I would go all outbound because I'm not going to pay $5 an inbound click. I'm going to pay a penny per view. I can scale that a lot faster. Thank you for doing this, guys, says Crystal. Yeah, you're very welcome. Yes, supplements is tough. I'm also in the apparel space, also tough. Donald, jeez.
Why, Donald?
You should sell like racks that go into a garage. Like really nice. Everyone needs them. Everyone wants them. Not a lot of competition, high AOVs. But God bless you, Donald. All right.
All I have is
last
question is why, Donald?
Yep. All right. Last few here. If you're watching right now, don't ask anymore. I'm gonna get through the end. I'm gonna try to do the shotgun blast because I'm a little bit late for something. What is the minimum budget to use PMax? Most of my ecom clients have budget about $3 to $5K per month. $100 per day is the bare minimum to reset. Like find something that works within like three months. That's the best I've seen. Currently only running to the product page, no landing page. Thanks for your input. Yeah. Okay. That was downloaders, supplements and stuff. I forget the question. I'm so sorry. When you take over accounts, do you rebuild existing campaigns or create completely new campaigns? And what is the deciding factor? Everything. Is it duplicate tracking? Is it tracking wrong? Is there a good or bad performance? Was there bad performance or a good performance that turned into bad performance because they made a messed up mistake, like half the budget and throw T-ROAS on at 800%? All completely custom. But if I can't see a very quick path to resurgence, I'll build new. Yes, that's what I've been thinking. Don't change what's working. Maybe I'll just up my daily budget. Bingo. And Jasmine, do 20% every 2 weeks. Very safe. Lead. Oh, Guru was actually lead generation. It wasn't ecom for his 4-step process. I thought it was ecom, but if it's lead generation, God bless you, man. I can't get PMax to work for lead flow. My life depended on it. I stopped a 5K per day performance max campaign that was running for 6 months because half of the conversions going through a 5-step custom builder were spammed. I had to flip it onto YouTube. I couldn't believe it. Click Farms were spending 15 minutes filling out my forms.
That was sad.
Yeah. Many thanks for the answers. You're the best. You're welcome, James. Thank you, says Samuel. You're very welcome. John, send me those $3,000 a month guys. Oh yeah, it's a good idea actually. That's I like them. You got it, man. But if I send you $3,000 per month, guys, and you hop on my live saying, "Hey, what do I do here?" We're gonna have some. We're gonna have some. Maybe a referral. Yeah. All right. So Dylan says, "Awesome. Thanks for the answers, guys. Super helpful. You're very welcome." Dave says, "A/B testing people would not be happy with you, John." That's right. I always say we're in the business of human trafficking. That's all we do all day. It's just Google directed. Maybe you need a multivariate testing. Yeah, multivariate testing is called AI. That's what Google does. Ted, hey John, are you only live on LinkedIn? No, we're on YouTube. I hope. No, we're on YouTube. We are. I see what YouTube tags. So Ted, hop over to our YouTube channel. That's for setting me free, John. This is Dave. Niche product versus red shark ocean.
I don't know what these terms are.
I don't know what these are.
They're all ocean related.
We spend $80 million a year on Google for 200 clients, and I don't know any of these terms. So what am I missing here?
I'm so
all right,
confused.
I'm gonna start making it. I'm starting to make a new one.
There's like a college professor. There was a college professor that kept like a dictionary of slang words his students used, so he could keep track of everything that was going on. I'm like, John, we need to keep track of all these terminology people use here.
It's lit for real on God. He's like, oh, so you like that?
Open up our.
My daughter is 9, and I'm not looking forward to when she starts using those terms. She'll be grounded. All right, is target impression still being relevant? I don't like it only because I don't think that Google will ever kind of give you the targets that you want. You're better off getting them manually, my opinion. Thanks to Jasmine. Law, Dave. Are you guys taking new clients? Says Ted. Yes, we have a 7 to 14 day waiting list. It's ready to start just because of our bandwidth. We like to be take on too many clients that we can handle. So about a week to 2 out, but yeah, we're taking on some new clients. Dave says, has anyone tried marketing Billy Ocean? That's a good one. And you've received 100 messages today on the Restream chat. Cool. We did 100 chats.
Nice.
That's pretty good. All right, everyone. I am going to go take a nap because you all are exhausting, but I love you all. Just kidding. Everyone.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.